Hey guys, welcome to Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkoviak. Today we're going to talk about methods to get your truck unstuck. If you spend any time in the woods hunting or anything that you're doing outdoors like that and you're in the woods, you are most likely going to have a time where you are going to get your truck stuck. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a mud hole. I can't count how many times I've been stuck in a section of soft sand on a turn that's been tore up, or mud holes obviously, or holes in the road, or even soft ground along a power line. It's just been wet and saturated and you sink in the mud. It happens all the time, and there's a lot of ways to get your truck unstuck. We're going to cover them all for you today, and then there's a lot of them that are going to save you a lot of money as well too. So we're going to break it down. First though, we got to talk about the trucks, how they get stuck and that kind of stuff. Then I'm going to take you inside in my computer, show you different variations and how these things work and different options for you. But let's take a look at the trucks here first. This right here, 2018 F-150, okay, four-wheel drive. It's a joke. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it. Of all the trucks out there that do what I need a truck to do, this one is the best in its class for what I needed and what I personally need out of a truck. But look at the ground clearance on that thing. I mean, look at that. It's a joke. I mean, my finger can fit under it. Can't even fit under it. I mean, realistically, though, you can see very weak ground clearance on them. They have all these air dams on there. My truck, 90% of the time when I'm in the woods, I come out and my tow hooks are jammed up full of mud, clumps of dirt and grass, and then I even got mud and crap and dirt stuck inside my fog light things. You can see my air dam under there is all cattywampus and kind of bent and curls and goes like this because of the fact that it's been bent up so many times. It's designed to flex. Okay, that's rubber and designed to flex and bend. But you can see it's beat up because they have no ground clearance on them anymore because of this fuel economy they need. Also, these things today are with the length of these trucks, the wheelbase, a lot of them are prone to having to get high centered on there, basically meaning that you're going to get that frame that's under there. You're going to end up with that frame stuck. Oh, there's Riley. But you will get that frame centered out where your wheels are not on the ground and your frame is resting on the ground. It's under there that you can see there. And then your wheels aren't, and so you're not going anywhere. So you got to have solutions to be able to get out of high side. That's called high sided. When you end up high sided is when the middle of your vehicle is on the ground and your tires are not actually on the ground where they can do anything. We'll talk about that. But the trucks today, like I said, doesn't matter if it's a truck, if it's an SUV, doesn't matter what it is. You're going to get stuck. I don't care if it's a Jeep. We had a 2010 Jeep with 35-inch wheels and a lift on it and all that kind of stuff. And believe me, I can still get that thing stuck. The ways to get it out, though, are where it's at. And there are a ton of them that are going to be very efficient for you, cost-effective, and a bunch of different options. Some of them are natural, man-made, or natural, like the stuff you have here in the woods that you can use to get out, which we'll show you. I will show you some hacks and techniques and tricks that are going to make it really good. And I'll also show you some systems that you can buy that are worth keeping in your truck that make life a lot easier for that stuff. So let's take a minute right now, and I'm going to take you inside the house. I'm going to take you into my computer, and that way I can show you all of these things, the different scenarios, the different methods, what I do and don't like about them. I have been stuck hundreds of times. And when I say hundreds, I'm not kidding. I mean, literally hundreds of times I have been stuck in the woods. I've been hunting and living in this area out here and up here basically my entire life. Hundreds of times I have been stuck in every kind of vehicle you can imagine and always been able to find a way out. I've never had to call in like a tow truck or something like that to get out. I've always been able to do it on my own. We're going to show you those techniques. I'm going to show you some of this stuff. Let's jump in my computer and take a look. Okay guys, now we're in my computer here. We're going to talk about all these different methods and I'm going to show you examples of it. But first off, at the bare minimum, if you're not going to do anything else, there's going to be a couple things you're going to need. I will have links for these down below in the description for you, but you are going to need a set of ratchet tie-down straps. These are going to be vitally important for getting you unstuck. I will explain why in a second. You will also need some kind of a saw. A saw is going to help you use natural materials, branches, things like that that's around you to help aid in your extraction or you're getting your vehicle unstuck. This is the saw that I use and have in my car. It's a great one. I keep it right behind my seat, but it's got a big 13-inch curved blade, and it's a good blade, and it works very well. And you can see it's a pretty affordable price. Again, there will be links down below. You can also use something like this. This is one that I carry in there as well too. I keep this in my truck too because it's always a backup for me for when I'm hunting if I need another saw with me. But either one of these are going to be great. But you are going to need a saw, whether it's this one or something like this. You are going to need the ratchet tie down straps, and you are also going to need a shovel. This shovel right here is absolutely incredible. As you can see, it is a very dirt cheap price to buy. Again, links for all this stuff down there below, but this shovel is a very compact, simple shovel that you can put anywhere, in your truck. And actually, if you see, you look here, they even make a mount right here, clamp mount, that you can actually put right in the bed of your truck and clamp it there, or behind your seat, or anything you want to. That's really sweet, simple, and easy to do. But this shovel, this size shovel, lets you get down in there and not fight that long handle. So it does work absolutely phenomenal. Now, if you are going to have these items, a shovel, a saw, and ratchet straps, then what you can do is some of these. So if I just go to Google and I type in getting truck unstuck and I hit on images, we can see some stuff. For example, this one right here, you can see how he took a piece of wood that was there. Now this looked like campfire wood, but you can do this with any stick, anything like that. You can ratchet strap it right around there and lock it right to your wheel and use it like an actual wheel chuck to help get you out of there. So that's one method of using that. Here's another method that I do this one quite often, but I actually do it with natural sticks around me. I don't usually have 2x4s, but if you get stuck, forgetting about that strap that he has there, but you can wedge these things in a hole and use them for traction to get out. So you can use your saw that you got to cut down branches from nearby trees that are dead, but you can cut them and stuff them under there and make them work pretty good. There's more examples of that, but this is the story of my life right here, is just like this. Well, having to be able to use that shovel to dig this right here, this hard lip out of there, and being able to stuff a bunch of stuff in there makes life a lot easier. And another example, there were a few more that I saw on here of that being done. Here's another example of him using. Now again, this method works good. It's not so much extension out here as it is that hunk right there that matters. But using a ratchet strap and strapping any kind of stick that you cut right on there that's maybe 2-3 inch diameter stick on each of your back wheels will give you that option to get out of there. Having a 4-pack of straps will let you put it on all 4 wheels if you really want to. So it's a nice option to have that. There was one in here that I made sure that right here like this, perfect example. See how he's doing this? And you can wedge these sticks, natural sticks, things that you find in there to help get you out. It works great, but having that shovel will let you dig this out a little bit so that that stick is not quite so steep. It allows you to create that angle better down here and use that to get those out of there. So that's a fantastic, simple way with a ratchet strap, shovel, and a saw. I wonder if there's any more of them in here as I hit this here, but that system does work phenomenal. This does not work for anything. This is pure garbage. I never had any luck with that. Using your floor mat to drive over never worked for me. The stick method, like I said, stuffing them in there, that one's usually pretty quick and easy to be able to do. I don't see any more images of people sticking anything in there, but I'm telling you, it does work fantastic as an approach to be able to do it. Right in here like he's doing here, you basically just dig that out down there and then stuff like he's doing with a shovel, dig that out and put a bunch of branches in there to give you traction and something to bite on. But yeah, I'm not seeing any more examples of somebody doing that, but it does work incredible, and that'll give you the tools to do it. Now, another option that you can do as well too is to go with something like these right here. You see these boards? I actually have a link to these in here for you too. They do work fantastic, and I got a couple buddies who actually run Silver Lake Dunes that swear by having these. Problem is they're kind of a pain in the butt to store, and they're not very cheap. If we look at the example of them on here, where did I put them at? Right here they are. They're $150, and they're pretty good size. They're not very little, as you can see. They're pretty good size to have to store, but they are pretty flat and they fold down tight together, so they're not bad. But they do a great job of getting you unstuck when you're jammed in there, giving you some traction. Me personally, I have never used those, but like I said, in sand and snow, I know people that have had great luck with them. I don't think I would personally buy them, but they do work good. But if you're going, like I said, simple and easy, that shovel, the ratchet straps, and a saw will let you do all kinds of these tactics that you want to do to be able to, somehow get yourself out of there. Now, there are better ways to do this as well, too. These blocks that you see right here, I have a couple of friends that swear by these. They work very good. It's just a block that straps right on your wheel. It is basically the same exact concept of doing this with something natural in the woods, but it comes as a preset unit that you can actually buy. They come as a set of two, and you can strap them on your wheels. Those ones are on an ATV. You can see them here on a car tire, but that block will give you a biting edge and give you some traction. They do absolutely work incredible. I have a whole nother system that I use that I love, so I don't have these, but I will show you a link to them. They're not very expensive, and like I said, everybody I know that uses them straight up loves them. Those would be right here, I believe. Yes, so you can see they're not super cheap. But they do work incredible, and it's not, you can transfer them from vehicle to vehicle. So once you buy them, you're set. It's not like you have to sell them with the car or something. But from everybody I've talked to, they just straight up work like a champ. So that's a fantastic option to help get yourself out there when you're, get you out of there, stuck positions. Downside to them is you do have to climb into whatever hole you're in and strap them on and mess with it, and you may or may not want to do that. Again, talking about a few different systems in here, but these do work phenomenal. Now, another great thing that you can use that I use, the system I use, if you want to go straight into the bread and butter of this, again, something transferable from vehicle to vehicle, so it's not like it has to be mounted on your car like a winch does or anything like that. I go straight to the Weiss Scott power puller. This one right here. Okay, this is actually, yes, it says 3-ton power puller. Okay, it's got 35 foot of 5/16 blue am steel rope, so it's not steel cable, nothing that you got to mess with. That cable doesn't fray and chew your hands up and give you splinters. But this thing is just built like a beast. This thing is a tank, 3-ton puller, but understand that when you actually look at it, it may be 3-ton of deadlifting, but this thing will drag and pull, and 12,000 pounds for a vehicle. This thing is incredible. Now here, this red-handled one is the one that has the steel wire cable on it. I don't like those. They kink, they fray, they can snap, they just give you, I'm not a fan of that. That's the old school way. I prefer the Amsteel blue rope. This is the one I have. Absolutely incredible. Breaks down very compact, and it works really good, and it pulls a great distance, and it's very easy to use. So this thing is fantastic. You can pull from the front of the vehicle, you can pull from the back of the vehicle. Doesn't make a difference. Plus, it's got a million other uses for hauling. We're bringing deer up in a tree, lifting generators up and putting them in the back of trucks. You name it, this thing can do it. It's just a very versatile tool to have. And like I said, the best price around that you're going to find is going to be right here at Amazon. It's not cheap, but it will last you forever, and it is an heirloom, hand-me-down kind of an item. So this is a fantastic product. This is what I carry in my truck, and I have for the last 4 trucks. This thing gets me unstuck quite often. Now, if you didn't want to go with something like that, another option is the high lifter jack. Okay, you see these on a lot of Jeeps. You don't use this to lift your body up, okay? But if you have a vehicle like a Jeep or something with the steel-mounted bumpers, you can use this for something like that to lift it. But don't use this on your side panels of your car or your fender wells or anything like that. It's not going to help you. But this actually works very similar to what this does. You can take this high lifter jack, connect a hook to here, and run a strap out to a tree, connect the other hook down here, and where you see my mouse at, and connect that to it, and then you can actually ratchet this and move and pull your vehicle up click by click and pull it out of that hole. Downside is you're only getting 48 inches, so you're only moving it about 3 feet at a time. Then you got to reset, put it down, reconnect, but it does work. They are heavy and a little more bulky to find a place to store, but they do have mounts and things that'll help make this easier for you. So they are a handy option. For me, I just go straight to this one. It's a buy once, cry once, last you the rest of your life. Works absolutely perfect. It's just an easy way to get everything to recover yourself from anything. Snow, mud, dirt, high-centered as well, too. If you are high-centered and your tires don't have traction, high centered, meaning that the, I wonder if we can actually, let's see here. Let's see if we can find that. Show you an example. High center truck stuck. Let's see if that'll show us an example of it. But high centered is when the frame is actually on the ground, and therefore you can't, your wheels won't do anything for you. It's not going to show me. I'm not seeing an example on here, but like this right here. See how, of course, it's a little picture. But you can see on this picture here how that frame is on the ground. Okay, the wheels, his wheels are just sitting here spinning in this. They're not moving, just sitting here and spinning. That's high centered. So you can't drive out, you're actually stuck. The frame is resting there and the wheels can't do anything. In order to do, when you're in that situation, those other methods that we talked about on here may not get you out of that jam. You know, your ratchet tie down strap system with running that or running these traction controls, they may not do anything for you because they can't work. Then you're going to need something to pull you off, or you're going to have to dig a ton of dirt with that shovel to get you off that frame. That's where this comes in handy. This thing, you just hook it on, it'll yank you right off there, no big deal. It'll slide you right out of there quick and easy. High lifter jack will do the same thing. This is just a better system in my opinion. One thing I do not like and cannot stand at all is one of these right here, these come along style things like this. These are pure junk in my opinion. They break, they're not built right. There's a risk of them snapping. They're pain in the butt. They only move it literally like 1.5 feet at a time. They're slow, they're cumbersome. They don't do a lot of good things. Now in a pinch, would it probably work for a dirt cheap price? Yes, but I'm just not really a fan of these. I would much rather go with the Reith Riley style or Reith, whatever it is, the more power puller that you have here. But these things here, they're absolutely incredible. Again, that White Scott, not Reith Riley, White Scott power puller. Love this thing. Just cannot rave enough about it. It is fantastic. But the high lifter jack is a great option. And then here's those other things we were talking about right there for you. Now, whether you go with a high lifter jack or you go with the Reith Riley puller, you are going to need a few things to be able to pull you out. You're going to need these anyway, even if you're using another vehicle for extraction, okay? You're going to have some way to connect to it. A standard 3-inch by 30-foot toe strap. This is a fantastic one with a huge rating. It's a very affordable price. It self-wraps around itself, so you can lock it up and put it behind a chair or behind a seat, behind the seat of your truck or under the seat. It doesn't take up much space. 30-footer is a great one. I also have a 20-footer, same exact one, but in a 20-footer, I think it's worth having both of them because it gives you options, especially if you're using that high lifter jack or a standard come along. You're going to need different lengths of that strap to be able, because again, you're pulling such a short distance at once, unlike that White Scott power puller where you can get a lot more distance out of this because of the way it's set up. So having the option of having a 30-footer and a 20-footer is a fantastic thing. Again, there'll be links for this stuff down below, but these are mandatory kind of deals. Yes, there's other versions. Some cost more, some cost less, but make sure you get a good, stout, quality one of these, especially if you're in a truck. Trucks have a lot more weight to them than like a Jeep does or a little Toyota does. You know, if you're in a full-size truck, you're going to want something with some capacity to it to be able to make sure that you're not, that you can operate safely. You are also going to need some kind of shackles. Okay, these are going to be something that's going to let you connect straps together, connect the winch to, or the straps around a tree. It just gives you options. You don't usually need more than 2 of them. Here's a great price right here. For both of these. Fantastic options. They come with the nice little guards on them. They are very heavily rated, strong, so they're going to hold up to anything you need to do. And they're a great setup. So sweet, simple, easy. Buy this pack, you're in business and all set. But you will need those along with, at the bare minimum, that 30-foot strap. I would go 30-foot strap, 20-foot strap, 2 shackles. Tree saver. I have one. I carry one. But this is what really it is it's the same thing. It's a 3-foot, same as one of the other straps were, but this is an 8-foot version. You can use it to wrap it around a tree. Not mandatory because you can wrap the other ones around a tree as well too, but it does kind of save wear and tear on that tree. And it also gives you an 8-foot section of strap that's easy to use. And it's, you're talking just a couple bucks. So that may be something that you want to add into there. But those are going to be basically, those components will let you do it. I mean, that ratchet straps and a saw and the shovel are a bare minimum. They will get you out, but with some ingenuity and some creativity while you're out there and a little hard labor, it will pretty much get you unstuck out of just about anything that you get into. That's going to work for you. These hit or miss, but in a lot of times they will get the job done unless you're high centered. If you're high centered, none of these systems are going to work very well for you because you just can't get off that frame very well. You're going to need to use jacks or something if you're going to run one of these systems to get you off of there, which is complicated. The shovel, mandatory anyway, but these are great for, like I said, if you're just getting stuck. This best system that you're going to find short of having a winch on that truck. And even when you have a winch, it's tricky to pull out backwards. Unless you have a double mount, you can move it around. So this system for me, I actually like better than the winch that we have on our Jeep because I can actually connect this to the back and pull myself out. So if I start getting into a hole and I sink in pretty hardcore and realize that it's bad and I don't want to continue forward, I can winch out backwards with this. I can't do that with the winch on my Jeep very well. You can run it underneath and fight with it, but this works just really sweet and easy. So that's my preferred system. High lifter, like I said, not a bad option if you're trying to save money, but bulky and a pain in the butt to put someplace. Those things there, if you're dealing with sand and sand, if you're living in Florida where it's mainly sand and things like that, that might not be a bad idea for you, or in the snow or something to throw in your car. But if you're going to go with that high lifter or that this White Scott power puller, you're going to need a few of these straps and some shackles. And I will have all this stuff listed down below for you. But with one of these systems, you're pretty much for sure guaranteed that you're going to be able to get yourself out of whatever you're getting into. For me personally, that White Scott power puller, it saves my butt all the time. And it's so easy to just grab it, hook it up, and use it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it worked out good for you. And hopefully it'll keep you from getting stuck and having problems with your truck. Just, put a plan together. Take some of this ideas, set something up, make it a system for you, and you'll be safe out there and be able to get home and not have to spend a night in the woods dealing with being stuck or trying to have somebody come get you. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more stuff soon. All right, bye.